In this video, we are going to be looking over this Olympus Stylus Epic Zoom 115 point-and-shoot 35mm film camera. And in order to perform some tests here to check function, we have a battery and a scrap roll of film. Now these are not included in the sale, they're just here to help with the testing. So first we will open up the battery compartment here on the bottom by pressing on the bottom. And we note here that the battery compartment is nice and clean, and we drop in a type 123 battery and close the door. And it snaps shut, that's nice. And so then we go here and we open the back. And while we have the back open, let's just look this over. Looks like some pretty serious optics down in here on the inside. Everything looks clean and nice. Over on the door we see a continuous rubber gasket all around the perimeter here, and the surfaces that makes up with look good over here. So let's drop in our film in the loading spot here, and we want to bring the leader over into the take-up area and close that. Okay. So it stopped loading, and so if we open the front, the lens comes out, the flash pops up, and the display on the back should show picture number 1, which it does. And now what I'm going to do first of all is set this flash so that it has to go off with the forced flash, and then we will just point this here. Okay, and we saw the flash worked. Now I'm going to set it for the, let's see, there's a red eye setting. And that certainly worked also. And then I'm going to shut the flash off. And I'm going to set for the self timer. And then we'll just set this over here and point it here at us. And now we see the red light came on right here, and that will start flashing, and ultimately it will complete the cycle. Okay, we saw that worked. Now let's look at the zoom. If I push this for the telephoto, the lens zooms out. And if I zoom back in, and now if we just point this here right in toward the light and watch the shutter, it's really fast. Now if I turn off this front light here so there's not as much light coming right into the front, and watch the shutter, it was slower and not as much activity there. So here. And I'm going to really shield this from light here. I'm going to turn off this one. Much longer shutter duration, so we can see that the metering is working. And at this point now we're up to picture number 8. I think this is a short roll, only about 14 or so exposures. So I'm just going to pop the rest of these off just to make sure that we check the film transport. Sounds nice and smooth. Okay, it reached the end of the roll here. It made it up to picture number 15, and so now it is winding the film back. So we're going to wait and watch till that number gets back down to 0. And it will continue to wind a little bit after it's at 0, just to make sure that all of the film is back in the cartridge. And then it will give us the flashing E, indicating it's safe to open up the back. And I felt it break free, and it's just continuing to wind. Okay, and there is our flashing E. So we can open the back and see that all of the film has wound back into the cartridge, and if this were a real roll of film we could process that. Let's look at the door latch. That's nice, that works properly. And the slide over cover works properly. Snaps into place closed and open. If we look at this date feature here on the back, there's a little tool on the strap that allows us to push the mode thing here, and then we can see it comes up as 0011, or January 1st of 2000. So now if we hold that in, the 00 starts flashing, and then we can set this up to whatever we want, which here we are in the year 2021, and it's January, and we'll just run this up to, okay, so there's at January 13th, 2021, we'll just count that close enough. You could set the clock here to whatever the time is, hours and minutes, and you're done. An interesting thing we might want to know is how long is this calendar good for, because a lot of these cameras stop at about this time. But here we got the year 2021, and we'll just keep stepping it up, 22, up to 2030, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and back to 0. So it's still good up through the year 2035, which is pretty good. If you care about the quartz date settings, this one will work for quite a while yet and show the correct date. Cosmetically, the camera has some scuffs from use. I mean, these were designed to be kind of a self-protecting case, and the cases take a little abuse being shoved into pockets and things, but this one isn't as worn as a lot of them that I've seen. There's a little bit of a gouge right there. It's purely cosmetic, but we'll just point that out. Otherwise, pretty nice example of the Olympus Stylus Epic Zoom 115.